Homage to the Venerable Mang Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Tsongkhong Dusong Rinpoche. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Thupten Dorje. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of the group practice this evening, the greatly merciful and compassionate Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. Sumu Tanchen Kacho, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, all disciples present here and over the internet. Our participating VIPs tonight are Madam to Ambassador Daniel Liao, the rep from Republic of China to Sweden and Norway, Dharma Sister Judy, Accountant to Buddha Foundation, Dharma Sister Teresa, Dr. Ryan Zhong, the rep to a council from Taipei City, Ms. Hui Ling. Good evening, everybody. How do you do? Today, we had the group practice of Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. And Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva's emanations are innumerable, countless, very many. In the past, we have said that every household there's Amitabha, and in every family there's Kuan Yin or Avalokitesvara. So every family typically would worship Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. So in Buddhism, there is one Buddha, Amitabha Buddha, and every ordained Sangha member, when they meet each other, they would join their palms and say Amitabha. And there are many bhikkhuni, the nuns, would also say Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. And one time when I was in Taipei, I met a bhikkhuni and I joined my palms to her and said Amitabha. And she replied to me, Kuan Yin, Kuan Si Yin Bodhisattva, which is Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. But there was no rule that the man or the monks would say Amitabha and the woman or the nuns would say Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. There was no such rule. As we all know, in Taiwan, in Taiwanese we would say Kanon Sara. And in like a shrine, a Kuan Avalokitesvara shrine, and in each family, at each Buddhist family, they would have this Kanon Sara in Taiwan, and it's rarely in other countries. There would be Kuan Yin at the center, and then there's the San Cai, male, and Liang Ni, girl, and then the peace bird. And there are many kinds of Kuan Yin, Kuan Yin shrine. There's one kind where at the center, Kuan Yin, and then on her two sides, San Cai and Liang Ni, and then the peace bird. And there's another kind. To her right, there would be, or left or right, and then next to Guan Gong is Guan Ping and Zhou Chang, and also Ma Zhu. So, and then next to him there will be the far hearing and far seeing. So, Kanansara means like the picture of a Kuan Yin shrine, and there would be the Kuan Yin with San Cai and Liang Ni on her two sides, and there's the peace bird that would be holding a chanting bead. We often see this when we were young. We would say that in each Buddhist household they would enshrine Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, and she has the most emanations or transformation bodies, countless of them. When we started to become Buddhists, before I started to learn Tantric Buddhism, the Universal Gate Sutra of Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, it mentioned many emanations or transformations of Kuan Yin. From the Zheng Fa Ming Tathagata, the Tathagata of the proper Dharma radiance. And after reading this Universal Gate Sutra, you would know that Kuan Yin Bodhisattva has really innumerable emanations. So she would emanate as the kind of person you are. So she has the most emanations. In the Universal Gate Sutra, you would know after reading it. She would manifest as whatever you are, sometimes as a human being, to deliver you. And after I started Tantric Buddhism, there are also many emanations of Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. Like the green Tara is an emanation from Kuan Yin's tear, and the white Tara too is an emanation of Kuan Yin's tear. In Tantric Buddhism, it's said that Kuan Yin Bodhisattva dropped two tears, one to become green Tara, the other one to become white Tara. And the look of Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, there are 32 physical bodies, not only 32, actually there are countless of them. Hers are the most. And the faith in Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva are also countless. Including in the human world, the faith and religion in the world and there is a belief where Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva's clothes, like a celestial garment, here we rarely see that, but in Taiwan there are Kuan Yin Bodhisattvas that would wear like a robe. So it's like a divine robe. And on the shrine, almost each family would enshrine Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. And she also manifested so many, like the celestial goddess. Mahatsu was also Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva's emanation. So her Dhamma power is limitless. If you gain spiritual union with Kuan Yin, then you are in spiritual union with every deity. Because in terms of Amitabha Buddha, the two closest attendants are Avalokitesvara Kuan Yin Bodhisattva and Mahastama Prapta Bodhisattva. So if you gain spiritual union with Kuan Yin, Avalokitesvara, of course you're in union with Amitabha Buddha and also Mahastama Prapta Bodhisattva. So when we chant Amitabha Buddha, we would also chant Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva and Mahastama Prapta Bodhisattva. We want to chant both of them. And she or he was the Tathagata of the proper Dharma radiance of the past, who emanated as Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva due to his compassion. So he let go of his Buddha's body to become a Bodhisattva's body to deliver sentient beings. And there are many physical emanations as well, like the wish-fulfilling Kuan Yin and the Aolong Kuan Yin, who's riding on an Aolong, which is like a legendary animal, or the dragon riding Kuan Yin. Aolong is a kind of fierce fish. So after Kuan Yin subjugated the Aolong fish, then she became the Aolong Kuan Yin. And there's Yilan Kuan Yin. And also the Kuan Yin of the South Sea from the Mount Puto. From the Buddhaloka mountain in China. And her Pure Lands also numerous. The Yuan Tong Pure Land, South Sea Pure Land, the Mount Puto Roka was also the South Sea Pure Land in the Zhejiang province of the Puto Mountain. In mainland China, there are 4 Buddhist Pure Lands. The first one is Mount Wutai, the Pure Land of Manjushri Bodhisattva. Second is Mount Ermei in Sichuan province, and Mount Wutai in Shanxi province. Mount Ermei belongs to Samantabhadra Bodhisattva. Mount Jiuhua in Anhui province, the Pure Land of Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. And Mount Puto in Zhejiang province is Avalokitesvara Pure Land. Of the 8 great bodhisattvas, according to the Huayan or Avatamsaka tradition, there would be Sakyamuni Buddha, Manjushri Bodhisattva, and Samantabhadra Bodhisattva. So Manjushri and Samantabhadra are the Dharma princes. And in the Pure Land Trinity, there would be Amitabha Buddha, Avalokitesvara, and Mahastama Prapta. So Mahastama Prapta Bodhisattva and Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva are Dharma princes. And in Tantric Buddhism, in the three reliances, the three main reliances of Tantric Buddhism, there would be the four-armed Avalokitesvara, Chandrasik, Manjushri Bodhisattva, and Vajrapani Bodhisattva. The four-armed Avalokitesvara is the Dharma prince. He's a Dharma prince. So in Tantric Buddhism too, Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva is very precious. It's very cherished. And Vajrasattva is the Dharma prince of the five Dhyani Buddhas. However, the Vajrapani of Vajrasattva represents Dharma power. And Manjushri Bodhisattva represents wisdom. And the four-armed Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva represents compassion. So they are the Tantric three main reliances, the three Dharma princes. So Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva will fulfill or will appear and fulfill your wishes whenever you ask. So always ride in the ship that delivers sentient beings. So Avalokitesvara is truly great. Like in the journey to the west, the monk, Tang Sanzang, the monkey king, the precept pig, and then the Sa-U Jing, and they went to the west to get the sutras. Every time they encountered difficulties, who saved them? Always the Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. Always Guan Yin Bodhisattva. And how about the biography of Ji Gong, the living Buddha, Ji Gong? He always chanted Om Mani Padme Hum. So in Ji Gong's biography, always Om Mani Padme Hum. So the whole Tibet is the spiritual center of Avalokitesvara or Chandrasiks. And they're all emanations of Chandrasik, like Dalai Lama. Karmapa, also an emanation of Chandrasik. So the higher spiritual leaders of Tantric or Tibetan Buddhism are emanations of Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. And the whole Tibet is the pure land of Chandrasik, the four-armed Avalokitesvara. So there's no more to say about Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. Of the 8 great Bodhisattvas, he's the eldest. He's the biggest. He's the one who delivers sentient beings the most because Guan Yin is the most compassionate towards sentient beings. So, first and foremost in compassion. So he or she is a truly great Bodhisattva. So in practicing Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, we would chant the Omani Pemi home. And in the Dharmadhatu and Vajradhatu mandala, in the Kuan Yin quarter, Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva would appear the most. Her emanations also the most. So we chant her mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum. And Avalokitesvara has many mudras, not just one. And she follows Amitabha Buddha. She belongs to the Lotus division. So you use Lotus as her mudra. Actually, she has many mudras. This is the lotus bud, the half-open lotus, the half-open lotus, and the fully open lotus. This is the half-open lotus, and the fully open lotus. Typically, Grintara holds 3 lotuses, one in full bloom, the second one half bloom, and one is in bud, still closed. When I started my Buddhist study, I started with the white robe Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, and I would recite the Kuan Yin's divine mantra, the Master Kuan Yin's mantra. Anybody that can chant that? Anybody that can chant? Nobody? Oh, you know how to chant that. You're like Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. Her face shows the look of Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. Who's your yidam? Avalokitesvara, Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. Please stand up and show your face to everybody. You look a little bit like Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva's face. So, in the beginning, I also chanted the white robe Kuan Yin Bodhisattva's mantra, divine mantra. I did a lot. And then later on, I recited the Great Compassion Dharani. And the 1,000 eyes, 1,000 arm, Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, the 11 face, Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. And the Mahakaruna Dharani includes lots of things. So that's called the Kuan Yin's transformations. All kinds of transformations appear in the 1,000 eyes, 1,000 arm Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. And her or his Mahakaruna Dharani is extremely. And there are the 11 face, 11 heads to symbolize that he is the 11th level Bodhisattva. Bodhisattvahood started from the 1st to the 10th ground. And the 10th ground, it's called the Fa-Yin ground. And the first one is the joy ground, joyful ground. And then the 10th ground so it's called awaiting full enlightenment, almost Buddhahood. But the thousand eyes, thousand arm Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva is the 11th ground, so that's the marvelous awakening or realization, and that's the Buddhahood. And the 10th one is the awaiting the full realization. So like in our study, I'm like standby. So if someone don't go, then I would be next. So that's called awaiting the full realization. So then that would become the marvelous realization, and that's the same as Buddhahood. So the thousand eyes, thousand arm Avalokitesvara is the same as the Buddha. So with the mudra, mantra, and the appearance or look. So Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva are numerous, and they are also the most responsive. They would appear wherever and whenever you pray to her. When I chanted, I would say, you also chanted the Universal Gate Sutra of Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. Anybody? So for the nuns and bhikkhunis, do you chant it when you recite? If you do, please raise your hands. Nobody? How come? Many shift heads, many people recite, especially the ladies here, but how come the shift heads don't? My mother would recite it every single day. That's her homework. And at the end of the Universal Gate Sutra, there's a verse. You know, when I learn my chanting, there are many different versions. Right? There's that verse. I could chant it in the past. So you chant it like that. It sounds very nice. I would chant it from beginning to end, but if I do it, that would be dinner time. But if I just read it, it would be a lot faster. So Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva is truly great. I highly respect her. my table in the consultation room, at the center there's a Golden Mother, and then around her all Avalokitesvara Bodhisattvas. And I would ring 5 bells. The first one is to invoke Golden Mother. The second ring of the bells, I would invite all the Kuan Yins. On the spiritual consultation table, they're all Kuan Yins. And then I would invoke all the goddesses, and then invoke all the deities, and lastly, Akalanata, Akala. So my shrine at the spiritual consultation table, we could say that that's the shrine of Avalokitesvara Bodhisattvas and Golden Mother as the main deity, and also with the 4 goddesses. That's all. So I highly respect Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. So today, let's continue. How come it talks about base empowerment again? Actually, the Samaya, let me tell you what is the true Samaya. What is Samaya? That's Dharma. So the Dharma that Grandmaster is talking about is really boundless, very broad. So Samaya includes very broad area, including the preliminary or fundamental practices at the beginning of your spiritual practice. And then there are also Samaya during the merits accumulation path. And then in the seeing of the path, there are also Samayas. And in the practicing of the path, there are also Samayas. And then in the ultimate 2, there are Samayas, including the Dharma, the resources, desire, there are Samayas. Including desire too, there are Samayas. And in our daily lives, there are Samaya. It's very broad. There are Samaya action and Samaya body. Like Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva that we practice today, because of the compassion and mostly for purification, so you have to wear white. I was going to wear red because I had been wearing that red robe. However, say for empowerments, if you want to give empowerment to disciples, you have to wear the crown in order to confer the empowerment. There are rules. If you're not wearing any Dharma crown, because when you wear your crown, you represent the 5 Dhyani Buddhas. But if you don't wear crowns, unless you already have body mandala through your spiritual cultivation, that at the brow point there is my Vairocana Buddha, at the throat chakra there is Amitabha Buddha, at your heart there is Akshobha Buddha, and your navel is the Ratnasambhava Buddha, and your secret chakra is the Amoghasiddhi Buddha. And after you practice to have the body mandala, and you already has fruition with the Samaya, then you can give empowerment. But if you don't, and then you don't wear the 5 Buddha crown, then you break the Samaya. If a monk or a nun is wearing the ordinary clothes walking on the road, then you're breaking the samaya. You're breaching the samaya. So your connection with the guru, yidam, and protector, that's called the samaya. That's the samaya for all tantric practitioners. If you abandon your root guru and you take refuge in another guru and then follow in that new guru, then you don't have this samaya anymore. You create a new samaya with that new guru. That's how it is. That's the relationship, the triangular relationship. So there's the three poles. That's the samaya of the body, samaya of the speech, samaya of the body, speech and mind. So this is very deep and profound. So becoming a Buddhist, you have to abide by the 5 precepts: not to kill, not to lie, not to adulterate, not to steal, and not to lie, and not to drink. So if you drink alcohol, then you break your samaya. But you can say, because the alcohol is for medicinal purpose, then it's okay. Say, if you take a little bit of a tonic alcohol every night, is it okay? That's okay. But if you drink non-medicinal alcohol, then you're not allowed. Like if you kill in America or the North America or South America, and if you open restaurants, then you have to kill. What should you do? Then there's a way to make it up. So if you a tantrika, you can chant the deliverance mantra. Like as a tantrika, we have to make offering before we eat. And second, and you have to blow a breath toward your food, and you have to chant mantra, and you have to form the mudra. So mudra, mantra, visualization, and all these 3 before you can eat. Of course, no need for vegetables, but you have to make offering too. And when you eat fish, you have to. Fish, meat, beans, eggs, you have to make offering of all of them. And you have to form mudra, you have to recite mantra, and you have to visualize. These are all samayas. So samaya body, samaya action, and etc., etc. So I like to explain what samaya is. Your guru, your yidam, your protector, you cannot leave them behind. So if you have relied on this guru, Someone asked, but how come Grandmaster has 4 gurus? But I did not abandon any of them. Like the first one that Grandmaster took refuge in was the Venerable Mang Liao Ming, and then the Zhong Rinpoche, and then His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, and lastly Master Thupten Dorje. I took refuge in 4 lineage gurus, in 4 gurus. Did I abandon any of them? No. And every time when I do my Dharma practice, I would hold my 4 gurus on top of my crown. You need to know to do this. If you want to take refuge in another guru and you abandon Grandmaster Lu, it's okay if you just leave. But if you don't abandon me, and you want to study another kind of Dharma from another guru, it's okay. However, you have to hold 2 gurus on top of your head every time. There would be 2 gurus, but Grandmaster is holding 4 gurus in the Tantric Buddhism, and in the Mahayana Buddhism, I have 3 gurus, 3 precept gurus. In Mahayana Buddhism, I took refuge in the Venerable Elder Inxun, Le Guo, the Venerable Le Guo, and the Venerable Tao An. These 3 are my refuge gurus in Mahayana Buddhism, and there are 3 other precept gurus. Say, when I made the Bodhisattva vows with these 3 marks, there are 3 gurus. The Venerable Elder Hui San, the Venerable Elder Xuan Dun, and the Venerable Elder Jie Guang is from Hong Kong. He's from Hong Kong. And the Venerable Elder Le Guo was also from Hong Kong. So in Mahayana Buddhism, I had 3 refuge gurus and 3 precept gurus. And in Tantric Buddhism, I have 4 refuge gurus. They are my own gurus. I have to remember. You cannot forget their Dharma names, otherwise how could they be your refuge gurus? So this is Samaya. There are many Samayas. So this is talking about the Samayas of vase empowerment. There are Samaya related to empowerments. Let me talk about vase empowerment. So the wisdom deity in the sky enters into the deity on the altar. Say, if you want an empowerment of Guru Padmasambhava, the Guru has to invoke Guru Padmasambhava first and practice Guru Padmasambhava's Dharma, sadhana. And you use the procedure or sadhana to invoke Guru Padmasambhava, who descended upon the altar, and then you take the empowerment vase and you have to invoke Guru Padmasambhava to enter into the empowerment vase. So inside this empowerment vase, there is Guru Padmasambhava inside. And Guru Padmasambhava emitted his light and brightness through his skin pores to exude his Dhamma power and merge with this water. And then the Guru would take this empowerment vase to give empowerment to people. So there's a chain here. The Guru Padmasambhava in the sky descends upon the Guru Padmasambhava on the altar, who enters into the Guru Padmasambhava inside the empowerment vase And then the guru takes the empowerment vase and gives empowerment. So this is the samaya of empowerment, and you cannot miss anything from it. If the wisdom deity does not descend upon the altar and you give the empowerment, then you're breaking the samaya. And the wisdom deity on the altar does not go inside the empowerment vase, and yet you give empowerment, then you break the samaya. And when the vase does not include the Dharma power of the deity, then you're also breaking the samaya. So empowerment is not so haphazard. It's not just as you like. You thought that Grandmaster just take the empowerment vase like this and place it in front of the forehead. No, I have to visualize. The Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva finally enters into the vase and emitting his radiance and Dharma power. Which we can say his Dharma nature into this water in order to give the empowerment. And then you're not breaking the samaya. Otherwise, you're breaking the samaya. The rule is very strict, very stringent. Now you know the meaning of this. Oh, you need an empowerment? And you just say, okay, let's get some water. Okay, it's full. Okay, let me drop some water on you. No, that's called the empowerment of the tap water. One time I traveled to some other country and we had dinner, and I went to the bathroom to relieve myself. And I heard someone sound on the ground. And I was going to pee, and someone was kneeling next to me. And it was wet on the ground. And I asked him, what are you doing? And then he said, oh, I want an empowerment from you. And I had nothing on my hands. So I asked him, you want a urine empowerment? Empowerment is not like that. There is a ritual to an empowerment. First, you have to invoke the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. How could I invoke the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to the toilet? And how about your offerings? You don't have any offerings. And then he said, but I have a red envelope. The red envelope is for the Guru. In order to invoke the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, you have to have offering in order to invoke them down. And offerings for each deity are different. Say, if you want an empowerment of a Heruka or Vajra practice, you have to offer wine, alcohol, and raw meat. You have to have those. And other offerings. Alcohol, raw meat for a Heruka. Like say, for the elephant head Ganapati or Rajambala, you need to make an offering of a banana. You cannot just offer one banana. It's not enough for him. So you have to follow the rules. And this is called samaya. So the samaya of the basic position is for the generation stage. And what is that? It's the mundane ground. And that has form. But completion stage is formless. And samaya of latter attainment is for the 3 kaya or 3 bodies. In a human being, there are 3 natures of bodies. One belongs to the space or to the cosmos, the original one, and then the physical body, and then the mental or spiritual body, and the original or the inner body. And samaya of food and drink for the pills of the 5 meats and 5 nectars. What are the 5 meats? Do you know? Of course, nowadays we don't use them anymore. It's impossible to get them. One of them is horse meat. How could you get horse meat nowadays? Of course, in Tibet you have it. So 5 meats and 5 nectars are their rules, and 5 kinds of nectar pills. And samaya of guarding is for 22 samaya of the basic divisions. And samaya of non-abandonment. As a Vajra master, you cannot abandon Vajra bell and Vajra scepter. Samaya of non-abandonment. You cannot leave behind any Vajra bell and scepter. Vajra bell and Vajra scepter. You have to bring your own Vajra bell and Vajra scepter wherever you go, propagating Buddha Dharma, anywhere. You know, let me tell you something simple. Om Buranchari, a mantra, Vajrapani. Pani, Om Bodhi, Pani is Vajrapani. The mantra. And Vajrapani's mudra is this. But I teach everyone just to use the Vajra club's mudra. That's fine too. But the mudra of pony is like this. Do you look? Yeah, you have to hook these fingers. So this is the mudra of Vajrapani. The ring fingers are interlacing each other, and then like this. This is the mudra for Vajrapani, Vajra hand Bodhisattva, and also this Vajra claps. So he has mudras, visualization. One hand is holding a Vajra scepter, and this one is holding the Vajra lasso, and with the Vajra look. And the leg positions is in the bow and arrow position. So the samaya of guarding. These 3. Someone wants to lose weight and asks the doctor, and the doctor said, "Oh, you want to lose weight? In the morning, just eat 1 boiled egg, and for lunch 1 steamed bun, and for dinner half a bun, and then you would lose weight." And this person asked the doctor, "Is it before or after meal?" And the doctor replied, "Get out of here. You can leave now." So he asked, for breakfast 1 boiled egg and a bun for lunch and half a bun for dinner, and yet he asked, "Is that before or after meals?" So that's the samaya of losing weight. You have to follow the rules. Then you would lose weight. Like Master Hui Jun. Where is he? Right here. He often is on diet, and he said that, and only his face loses weight, but not his body. Why? Because she loves to snack. Whenever he reads books or look at the computers, then he would pop things into her mouth. She would pop things into her mouth. Of course, she would be chubby. So her head is small, but look at her behind. You have to lose weight, do you know? Let me tell you, you don't look good if you're so fat, really. You know, someone likes to sing for New Year. It's good to celebrate New Year if I have a wife, whether I have money or not. And he's saying it over and over, and someone, a chubby lady, went next to this gentleman and said, "Okay, let me marry you." And when the man looked at her from top to bottom and bottom to top, and then he said, "Oh, I'm not celebrating New Year this year." That's why it's good to be slim. That would be different. Look at Simu. Her face is white, but she has maintained a good figure. Today is a holiday, and we got on a boat with friends, and the captain of the boat or ship distributed a piece of bread to everybody. And he almost ate the whole piece of bread. And then the captain told him that, hey, the bread is to feed the fish. Hui Jin is like that. Now, let me tell you, there's someone who went to Master Moku for fortune telling. And after but he didn't say anything, so they asked, what is going on? Can't you tell me what's going on? And the master was trying to basically tell fortune based on bones. But I cannot feel any bones on you, all just fat. So how come they're all about overweight? One day, Xiaoming asked the fat girl, anybody has ever told you you're beautiful? Sure, it's my mom. and my grandpa. And then Xiaoming asked again, did anybody ever court you? Yes. Yes. The wild dogs chase after. And then Xiaoming asked the fat girl, anybody ever whistle at you? Did anybody ever whistle at you? And the fat girl replied, yes. It's the traffic officer. So that's why it's not good to be fat. So please remember to lose some weight. Is Grandmaster fat? No. Good thing. Thank you. My friend has a very smelly feet, and there are boils on it, and fungus smell. And athlete's feet, and boils on the skin. It's really horrible. And then one day, his feet was being bitten by a poisonous snake. and the snake was poisoned and had to be safe for 6 hours before the snake could continue to live. So there's Samaya in here. So I remember there was a master who gave an empowerment, and he asked everybody to buy a bottled water, right? So everybody would buy a bottle of water when they got in. And then he would teach you to say a certain mantra, to visualize something, and then pour the water on top of your own head. And that's called empowerment. But according to the tantric dharma, that's not allowed. According to Samaya, that's not allowed. But if this master could invoke the deities from the sky and to enter into the bottled water, and then you get the bottled water onto your own head, then that's considered empowerment. So in the future, if you want an empowerment, you can get tap water, and then we invoke the deity to enter into this hose, water hose, and you can just sit there. And then I could spray water, and everybody gets all the empowerment. So Samaya is like this: compliance to the Dharma law. That's Samaya. If you don't comply to the Dharma law, that means you breach or you break the Samaya. There was a master in America, and he made the rule that the Mahayana Buddhist monks have to wear the 3 robes. So the inner robe, the outer robe, and then the kasaya robe or the precept robe. So in Mahayana Buddhism, we have such a rule. But for the Tantric Buddhists, monks and nuns could just wear the Lama outfit, and we don't ask you to wear any precept robe, and it is okay in our True Buddha school. So it is compliance with the Dharma law in our True Buddha school. But if you wear lay clothes, that is breaching the Samaya, then that would be non-compliance with the Dharma. And the husband asked the wife, if we both die and we fell to hell, what should we do? And the husband told the wife, then I would pray to God so that only I fall to hell and you don't. And then, oh, that's very nice of you. But then the husband replied, but if we both in hell, then that would be a real hell. So let me tell you that marriage is really a scary thing. A husband and wife are sleeping, and the husband all of a sudden cried really hard in his dream. And the wife woke him up and asked him, why are you crying? And he said, oh, I dreamt that I was getting married. And the wife said, but why? That's a good thing. Why did you cry? Because when I opened the veil, I found out that it was you again. That's horrible. That's really quite scary. Grandmaster, you know, I don't have any mark on my body, no tattoo. And in the future, I want to find a tattooer who would give tattoo to Grandmaster on my chest, like absolutely not to get married. Absolutely never to get married. So that when I am reincarnated, there would be mark never to get married, and to warn myself. Even that I grow up, it's still there. If I'm born in the human world again. But frankly speaking, Sumu truly helped me a lot. So, you know, the marriage certificate is a kind of samaya. First is the man, and then the woman, and then the marriage. So if you're registered at court, then there's the law, and then the husband and the wife. And there would be the marriage samaya. Then you cannot be separated. But nowadays there are many who are divorced. That's why I often say, let me say it right. In the past, I often say, if you marry a good wife, then you should have more good wives. But if you marry a really bad wife, then one is enough, more than enough. But 师母 is an exception. 师母 is very good, excellent. And she has helped Grandmaster to build half of our career. She's really incredible. So Grandmaster always remembered this and never abandoned her. And I will accompany her to old age. So I can say that she is my yidam of the human world or of the Saha world. Not the wisdom deity in the sky or not the wisdom deity at the altar or mandala. She's someone that I respect. 师母 So marriage is samaya. See, for the common people, the married people, it's difficult to maintain the samaya. Om Mani Padme Hum.